Most people think that the ending of the relationship is freedom. And for most of us, yeah, that's actually true. But why does pain get worse after you leave the narcissist? You survive the relationship, you've survived the silence, the memories, the withdrawals, but why is it so hard right now? For those of you that are going through this video is for you. Make sure to like and subscribe because I would love to have you here. Let's get into the video. Hello, my friends, and welcome back. I hope that you're all doing really well. So I wanted to really speak about today, which I've been finding that so many of you are struggling with right now, is the aftermath of the relationship with the narcissist. Okay, it's really, I know, it is so confusing and it is so challenging because I think many of these videos or many content that is out there also like really discusses how when you leave the narcissist, like that's going to be it. And a lot of us, and it is, but I think a lot of us think that the pain will go away as well when the narcissist leaves or when you leave the narcissist. Kind of like, yeah, the worst is done because you've gone. But we find ourselves in this strange limbo that whilst, yes, we have gone, but why am I feeling like this? And this really is what I wanted to talk about and expand in this video. Why the pain intensifies after the narcissist. I also want to look at the psychological and the biological reasons because there are two of those aspects that are present in this period in time. And also how understanding this will help you to heal a hell of a lot faster. So my friends, let's get into the video. I think before we get into any of the psychological, biological, and emotional factors, what we do need to understand here is we are withdrawing from a trauma bond. Okay, the trauma bond is one of the most nastiest surprises that we get after our relationship, after the ending of this relationship. And I don't think anyone can really explain it adequately what it actually is. Yeah, sure, it's this pull that you feel towards the narcissist, but I think in a way, the way that I've explained it on this channel and in the videos is it's been all about like this person has caused you pain, and all you need is a remedy from this pain. All you need really is to speak to this person, but this person is the one that has caused all of this pain. And you're kind of thinking like, all I need is just someone just to give me that closure, give me the understanding, give me the explanation. But the thing is, even though you might get the explanation, but it's not the truth. You always doubt it. So it isn't actually the remedy. And I don't feel like you can kind of really even explain it. It's a double-edged sword because that person that's caused you the pain is the one that can also remedy it. So how is that possible? And this is the thing, if someone hasn't been through a trauma bond, then how can you explain it? It's these emotional highs, these emotional lows that you're addicted to. There is, and the thing is, throughout the relationship, there's never been this stable time where it's been, okay, like we're on a par here. It's always been emotional high, which you get addicted to because let's face it, it feels good, but also the emotional low that is present as well. And the chemistry aspect of this, we've got the dopamine and the cortisol cycles, in this relationship, but also because your emotional system and your adrenal system, your nervous system has all become addicted to the dopamine, the cortisol, and the cycle of that, you kind of accept it as baseline. This is normal. Like, how could life be different? This is what I've had for many weeks, for many months, for many years. For a lot of people, there is an addiction to that. So withdrawing from that and actually having peace in your life, for a lot of us, feels isolating, very quiet. There's like nothing going on. So you feel like it's boring. You want some excitement in your life. And then when you don't have it, this is the issue. You're just like, what is going on? Like, this isn't normal life. And then comes the whole aspect of silence. And this can feel like real punishment. Like you feel like, well, I withdrawn myself from everybody because I didn't want them to know too much, or you just wanted to have some alone time for whatever reason. And it seems very quiet, very, very quiet. You don't hear from the narcissist. They are being silent. You almost feel like they're getting on with their life. You might be kind of with a new person. So silence feels like punishment. And then comes part of the addiction is that you feel like you need them. You need them to be able to breathe. You need them to be able to get on with your life. You see, this is all that's going on in this trauma bond withdrawal. That's what is happening. And what happens in so many cases is that you mistake this withdrawal for love because you feel like you can't live without them, yet they're the ones that have caused this pain. And it's like, goes back to what I was saying right at the beginning. All you need is for them to explain to you that everything's going to be okay, like they didn't mean it, and everything will be okay. So you feel like that would be the remedy. And then comes this part where you finally start feeling the pain that you were never allowed. And that's because you were always busy. You were always busy in this relationship because your attention was pulled to this, or this was happening, that was happening. So you never really could concentrate on yourself. It's almost like, hold on a minute, like you're not allowed to think about you. There wasn't a time where you could just sit and pause and think about yourself. You were always drawn into some sort of chaos or some sort of drama that was going on. Now you're flooded of emotions that you had once suppressed, that you had once not allowed yourself to feel because could have been too painful or it could have been too draining, and also because you were distracted. There's this whole load of emotional backlog that is going on here. And added to that, your nervous system is collapsing from hypervigilance. Because all of this is going on in the background, you're hypervigilant to any little thing that is happening because you've learned how to survive in your environment. So it's a very uncomfortable feeling. You don't have that perception of danger anymore because that person that caused that danger, that chaos, that drama, they're not there anymore. So you're still hypervigilant because let's face it, you've had to do that. You've had to do that for so long. And you've learned that this is normality. This is how you need to survive. And the saddest part of all of this is grief hits when the danger is gone. And that is what is happening in this part. Let's not forget also one huge aspect here is that you are mourning who you thought they were. Grieving the fantasy bond. Grieving the fantasy of this ever being a relationship. Yeah. You know what? Right at the beginning, they told you that this was going to be like a long relationship. They told you you were the love of their life. They told you you were the best thing that ever happened to them. And of course, you're going to believe them. Why wouldn't you? You'd never think that somebody is suddenly going to be there lying to you about this. It never existed. The person you loved was a mask. So there's also that aspect of trying to understand this, that actually this person that you fell in love with, that you believed was not really real. And that in itself is very confusing. And that is part of psychological abuse because what you're being presented, this reality here, isn't the truth. It's a mask. It's not real. And also added to the fact is there's a whole loss of a future because you got to know you, or you kind of existed within this union, within this connection with this person. And you probably said about certain things that you're going to do in the future. Like, for example, you're going to get engaged, you're going to buy a house together, you're going to get married, you're going to have children together. And many of you did. And then you were going to grow old together, that you were going to plan this future for whatever it was for you. You had planned this and you kind of built your whole life, your whole belief, your whole hope, your identity around this imagined future. And can I just say, this is what we do. When we're in a relationship with someone, this isn't abnormal to do that. We all do this. We all have this future where we believe, okay, this is going to happen. So it's not something strange that you would do. This is exactly what happens in healthy relationships. But what you don't realize at the time is that because this is toxic, there's all built on lies. There's no substance to it. For many of us, there was the betrayal that came along with it as well, and the identity confusion. The betrayal in whatever aspect that was, whether they had cheated on you, whether they had betrayed you emotionally, whether they had betrayed you with lies, whatever it was, the betrayal wound comes up here because what they said and what they did was something completely different. And that's one of the hardest aspects to get over. And then the identity confusion comes in with the aspect of a imagined future, because you lost yourself in this relationship. You lost who you were, who you are, who you wanted to be. That got taken away from you. And then added to the fact, we've then got cognitive dissonance that is happening here. You don't realize or don't know what the reality is and what lies were. You're trying to figure it all out, and it becomes really, really challenging. And the one thought that is in your mind is, how can someone who said that they loved me, how can they hurt me like this? And this is the confusion that happens. There is also parts of this where you're going to get emotional flashbacks and you're going to get a nervous system crash. And this is about your body remembering the trauma. The body does remember the trauma. And there was an amazing book, which I've mentioned so many times, and it's by Van der Kolk, The Body Keeps the Score. Now, this is something that if you're not familiar with, I would encourage you to read, or maybe like an audio book or something like that, because this man, this professor, really explains this in such a way that is so helpful. But your body remembers the trauma, the panic, the anxiety, the exhaustion that comes along with it. There's a loss of adrenaline rush as well. You don't get that anymore after the aftermath of the relationship. Everything's a lot calmer, a lot more peaceful. So there is an adrenaline that your body is missing, because again, remember, your body is craving that chaos, that drama, because that's how you've learned to live. That's how it was. That's how it is. And you're craving in some way that chaos because the calm that you're experiencing right now feels so unfamiliar. And for some of you, there's going to be the hoovering and the confusion cycle. They return and the pain reopens. Yeah, most of the time they will return. And what is happening here from a psychological perspective is it's opening up intermittent reinforcement, because they are there, okay, like they are now, but they're going to go again, like they have done before, while there's all those long periods of silence, and they're going to come back again, and then they're going to go. So the intermittent reinforces the trauma bond, because you're not allowed to move on. You're not allowed to get ahead in your life. The narcissist loves the fact that you will stay stuck. The narcissist loves the fact that you will belong to them, that you're not going to go anywhere. And in your mind, when you hear from them again, I know there's going to be a little part of you that thinks, oh my God, yes, they do actually care about me. They do want me. And maybe they have changed. And I know that all of us has thought this at some point, because that's all we've wanted. It's like what I said right at the beginning of this video. All you want is that one little point, that one little pointer, that one little proof that they have changed, that they love me, that they want me. And all of this pain is going to go away. And bang, there it is. There it is with the Hoover. And in your mind, you're going to think, yeah, maybe they've changed. Maybe they want me. Please, please, please know that they haven't. This is part of the cycle again. The intermittent reinforcement. This person hasn't changed. Okay, my friends, this person hasn't changed. And this is where you've got to understand that whilst it might feel amazing in that moment when you hear from them, when you do get some sort of communication, but what you do have to understand is going back worsens the crash every single time, because you're going to be here. You're going to be here again at some point in the future, because this person isn't changing. They've done no work on themselves and they have no intention to. It is never, ever going to change. You have to remember is that there is a breakdown before the breakthrough. This always happens. The pain okay, is the nervous system that is recalibrating for you inside. Okay. And I want you to remember this because I'm just giving you a roadmap of what is going to happen. Okay. What you're also experiencing is something called an ego death. And that's your identity rebirthing itself. That's you coming home to yourself. Okay. The antidote to all of this is you coming home to yourself, you rediscovering you. And this is where you've got to understand is that you're not breaking, you're basically detoxing from this person. And that's why it feels like death. This is also part of your shadow work that is coming up. It's part of your ego that has created this identity. Okay, this is inner child wounding that's from the past. This is all coming back to reawaken you, for you to come back stronger. Okay. So whilst I know that this is challenging and very painful for you at the moment, you've got to understand that this pain is your proof that you are waking up. You're grieving illusions and you're rewriting the reality of this whole relationship of what has happened. We're chosen because, you know what? You are empathetic, you're loving, and you're powerful, and you're reclaiming your soul and you're reclaiming your voice. I know it hurts right now, but your pain is your power. And this is what will rebuild you. So what do you need to do? Okay, look, for whatever stage you are in this cycle, go no contact or go very low contact. You're going to experience nervous system regulation. I think also what will be very important is trauma-informed therapy or journaling that will help you to understand this, because this is all very much trauma-based. Reconnect with yourself and with your intuition, and rebuild trust slowly. If any of you want any tools for that, remember, I've got the Patreon mentorship, which is all about that. I'm going to help you to rewire your brain. I'm using neuropsychology, which is my forte. I love it. So this is something that I have worked on. I have worked on this in my doctorate, but also in my master's in clinical psychology. So I know that these techniques work. I've also do one-to-one consultations as well. So if you want any more help or anything like that, please check the details in the description box. And remember that healing isn't linear. Pain now is your peace later. So my friends, I really hope that this video has helped you. Please give it a thumbs up if it has, if it's resonated with you, and please consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. Guys, I'm so grateful for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.